Most Pokemon trainers are satisfied when they beat the Elite Four, gaining the title of champion for themselves. Some go further and climb to the top of Mount Moon to see the most storied trainer of all time, ending their careers with a legendary battle. Guy like me does all that, then sees a slightly bigger version of Mount Moon that still needs to be climbed. Pokemon Emerald Rogue Hard Mode is today's mountain, and it is not an easy one to climb. I sailed through normal difficulty, beating it on my first try. Then, I got cocky. This run is going to have 8 generations of Pokemon enabled, and I'll be playing on Rainbow Mode. This makes the game extremely unpredictable, as gym leaders and champions can show up as elite trainers at any time, with any number of Pokemon from the franchise on their team. I start this run with a Galarian Slowbro holding a Quick Claw, and prepare to outskill my opponents. I begin Route 1 by hunting for Squishmallows. I find a Stuffle and an Oshawott, followed by a Shellos, Sock, and Impidimp. I didn't want to say Impidimp another time in this video, so I immediately replace it with a Pawniard. Full disclosure, I am the sole reason for the exponential rise of drug prices in Hoenn. I need more vitamins, and I will use my trust fund rare candies to afford it. After my large cash influx, I battled the King of Green himself, Spencer. I have a poison type, so I'm easily able to roll his team up, smoke him, and pass him to the left-hand side. This earns me my first gym badge. To begin the next stage, my Oshawott evolves. And that's really the only eventful thing that happens. Going into this run, my gameplay is a lot more streamlined. This is not my first attempt on hard mode, so I have a better grasp of what is going on. I'd like to take this moment to thank everyone for the support on the last video. I'm committing to 1 video a month, trying for 2, and for the right price, I could be convinced to do even more. I reached the 2nd gym leader, former champion Wallace. My Quick Claw plus Quick Draw pops off on every single turn this battle. I outspeed his British this way, but it barely manages to cling to life and gives Glowbro the strong jaw kiss of death. With my early game insurance dead, Sock clears the rest of the battle and I obtain my 2nd gym badge. After the gym, I replace my Psychic type with a Sunstone. Then, my Squishmallow evolves into a Body Pillow. I run into a Mimikyu and immediately catch it to replace the Soul Rock. I do this because the Disguise ability is great at guaranteeing Mimikyu's usefulness over time, especially in a game with permanent death. I also catch this Pillow Pet, replacing the false idol Shellos. Then I get noticed. The Pokefan sends out a Pancham, and I'm put at ease, until it uses Swords Dance, and I deal very little damage, and it kills Duat. My Mimikyu gets crit and poisoned by the same trainer, and it goes down too. Pawniard ends the battle, but at what cost? We add some mid-season replacements to the team, introducing Duraludon and Crobat, but I don't think anyone will notice. Drake is our 3rd gym leader. Between Earthquake and Toxic, his Gabite has no way of hurting Crobat, so I'll make sure to keep her alive. After I kill a Pokemon, Drake defaults to sending out Gabite, but because it can't do anything, the AI has him switch it back out, allowing Crobat to rack up some chip damage on whatever he brings in after. I abuse this until he brings in a Kingdra. Beware is barely able to kill Kingdra before it suffers the fate of Gen 8 technology. Draco Meteor. Eject Pack. Crobat cleans up from here, earning me a 3rd badge. After the gym, I catch a Litleo, and it quickly evolves into a Pyroar. I buy a normal gym for it because, well, I don't know. I thought you guys might like to see some item diversity, after Leftover Supremacy took over the last video. Brawly's Fighting type gym is next. After dodging a Zen Headbutt, Crobat gives me the early lead. But when Brawly sends out Crabominable, I am forced to switch in Pyroar. It takes a ton of damage, but I'm able to keep up momentum until an Urshifu uses Aqua Jet, continuing my trend from last run of buying items and never utilizing them. Crobat is poised to clean up from here, but Hitmontop lives and kills Crobat with Triple Axle. Sock ends the battle, and I earn the badge. Get excited! because this route begins with Pawniard finally evolving into a Bisharp. I also catch a Beedrill, Snover, Abomasnow, Audino, Chestnut. I keep the Abomasnow and Chestnut and head into a strong Pokemon den. I have to fight this random trainer, and my sock gets burnt and dies painfully. But none of that matters, because my random strong Pokemon is a Reshiram, whom I'm able to catch and replace whoever it was that died last battle. I don't remember, because it's a damn Reshiram. My run should be set now. I then challenge Tate and Liza. I miscalculate their Trick Room turns, and Morpeko goes down. Why the hell do they have a Hoopa anyway? Reshiram roost stalls the next set of Trick Room turns, allowing me to switch into Bisharp and start making agency plays. When Slowking comes out, I do not want to risk Bisharp getting burned by Scald, so I have to let Duraludon die to Future Sight. Bisharp comes back to finish what it started, and earns me another badge. I've lost a lot this run, and I don't think it's going to get any easier. What could I catch that could turn everything around and stop the bleeding my team suffers each route? Godtoad. I have the Seismitoad Smogon account, the Godtoad Showdown account, and my entire back is tattooed with its heavenly glory. Needless to say, I have more respect for this Pokemon than anyone else. This is it. I will keep Godtoad at all costs, and win this run with it. I also catch a Vibrava, which evolves into a Flygon. I use my free heal early and prepare for gym number 6. This time, I'm against Tucker, the bug catcher. I tell him the story about the time I caught a Reshiram, and he hands over the badge. Finally, a cruelty-free gym. After a bit of training, I buy the whole squad leftovers like it's Gen 2 OU. Then I get ready to fight a normal man. He gives my Bisharp a Defiant boost using Mystical Fire, and his Indeedee goes down. I get a low roll with Night Slash on Exploud, and it fires back with Overheat, ending Bisharp's reign. I set up a bit with Flygon while he's locked in, but because I fear another Imposter Ditto incident, I don't stay in for too long. My massive brain analyzed the situation correctly, and he locked his Scarf Ditto into Bulk Up as I earn my 7th gym badge. This next route begins with the capture of a Ghost-type Rotom. Then, something catches my eye.
There's a small enemy spider.
And I catch Galvantula instead. I give it Compound Eyes and set out for the final gym. Now, I challenge former heavyweight champion of the WWE, Steven. Godtoad blesses us with rain, clearing away Steven's permanent sand. This gives my Galvantula the ability to spam perfectly accurate thunders. But Skarmory is sturdy and just wants to spam Whirlwind. After Skarmory goes down, I am able to unleash my bulky setup sweeper and win the game. If you're ever worried about the next elite trainer you have to battle, I have an easy solution for you. Sell all of your valuables. Spend your life savings on these performance-enhancing drugs. Confident in my items, I begin the battle with the first Elite Four member, Flannery. Godtoad cools things off by getting rid of the permanent sun. It would be in the perfect spot to sweep if I had changed its ability to water absorb like I meant to. Instead, Volcanion forces me to switch out after dealing massive damage. I bring in the spider, just for it to die. I revenge kill Volcanion with Reshiram, only for Flannery to bust out a Reshiram of her own. Luckily, I win the speed tie. But it clings to life and retaliates with Outrage, ending the life of my Strong Den Pokemon. I know my Flygon is faster, so I put the second Reshiram down before it can hurt more innocent lives. Blacephalon comes out, and I hedge my Flygon's life to set up a Dragon Dance. Like last time though, she is using a Choice Scarf Pokemon with Hidden Power Ice. But this time, I live. Flygon is able to clean up from here, bringing me that much closer to the end. As I enter the next route, I catch a third ground type. Then, Macho Man Randy Savage joins the team. I enter a strong Pokemon den, but this time the trainer gives me no trouble. I encounter a Raikou, an underestimated Pokémon that I was happy to catch. I replaced Diggersby for it, giving me a more cohesive team structure. Then, I get ready to face the next elite trainer, Brandon. He leads with Diggersby, elects to lock himself into Fire Punch, and never switches out. This lets me set up 6 Dragon Dances, spam Earthquake, and just win. A free win is a free win this late in the game, but it is underwhelming. Speaking of underwhelming, Sydney is the 3rd Elite Four trainer. I was only able to get 1 encounter on the last route, so I start this battle below the level cap. Despite this, Sydney leads with a very passive Pokémon, and his Sableye spams attacks, letting me spam Dragon Dance. I don't like using the same strategy in consecutive battles, especially when it isn't God Toad. But I've lost a lot of good Pokémon this run, so bear with me while I try to streamline the journey to the champion battle. So I win this battle and get ready to move forward. I exit the gym and I'm frightened by a child. Random trainers can be very unpredictable, so I've been avoiding them ever since I fought Drake. My team stays safe and healthy as I challenge the final Elite Four member, Winona. She leads with Landorus Broken Form and plays herself by setting up Gravity. This allows Flygon to use Earthquake versus her flying types, and also gives me a 100% accurate Rock Slide. I am a weak man. I use Flygon a 3rd time in a row to force my way through another elite trainer. But let's be honest, how often am I handed the keys to abuse Gravity? You would have done the same. With that, I defeat my last Elite Four trainer and finish my final Turn 1 Flygon sweep. Before I face the champion of Hoenn, I see 2 trainers running in unison. Crazy how nature do that. After maintaining social distance, God Toad finally gets the water absorb ability. I sell more valuables, give my Pokemon some vitamins, then I'm ready to face the champion, Roxanne. She leads with Aerodactyl and gets up a Tailwind, while God Toad once again removes the permanent Sandstorm for more favorable terrain. God Toad's rain-boosted Hydro Pumps decimate Roxanne's team, until she unleashes a Magearna. I try to stall out the PP of Floor Cannon by spamming max potions, but that plan backfires when my opponent reveals Hard Swap, weakening even God Toad. I switch to a new strategy and swap in my Raikou. It has the ability Pressure, making PP stalling that much easier. Eventually, Magearna is forced out, and Raikou scores a kill on Omastar before dying to Tyranitar. Raikou wasn't on the team long, but it was still valuable to me. Old Reliable is able to clean up from here, but I learn the champion is in another castle and begin one last journey to battle the trainer at the top of the mountain. I can now endure my final trial, a battle with Lucy. She leads with a Tentacruel, which God Toad easily takes out with 2 Earth Powers, but its leftovers does get knocked off in the process. When Venomoth comes in, I switch into Incineroar. Lucy gets greedy and goes for Quiver Dance, and Flare Blitz takes out the Moth. Incineroar continues to use its health as a resource to eliminate Drapion and itself in the process. A noble sacrifice for God Toad, who comes back out in the face of Gengar. An Earth Power almost takes it out, but Gengar holds on with Focus Sash and its cursed body disables my attack. Luckily, God Toad doesn't miss, and Hydro Pump finishes the job. Now Lucy sends out the threat, Naganadel, which is able to one-shot a Abomasnow and gain a Beast Boost in the process. Flygon outspeeds and revenge kills Naganadel before it snowballs out of control, and Lucy is down to her last Pokemon. She sends out her Salazzle, but I have the perfect counter. After breaking a couple of substitutes and getting burnt, God Toad stands tall over its opponents, and victory is mine. God Toad made it to the end and gave the finishing blow. I've got to say, hard mode, rainbow mode, was a lot harder than the last run, but overcoming that difficulty just made it all the more fun for me. This game just got another update, so there is plenty more content to be made. Now that a new generation of Pokemon is out, I plan on uploading some more Showdown stuff at some point too. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to support more content like this. as always, I will spoon you later.